My very first Yu-Gi-Oh deck. My guys, I still remember my very first Yu-Gi-Oh deck like the back of my hand. My guys, this was the best deck of all time. Not a lot of people know about this deck. We've already talked about how I got into Yu-Gi-Oh. Then we talked about my cousin Keith, that little fat fucking shit. I fucking love that fat shit. Like, Butterball Chungus piece of shit. Yo, I love you, dog. Now you guys must see my training, okay? So Yu-Gi-Oh is a hard-ass fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card game. Y'all know that? Like, Yu-Gi-Oh is hard. Especially if you ever watch the Yu-Gi-Oh show. It's like the worst indicator. That's how most people played back in my day, okay? If you've seen the first Yu-Gi-Oh series, yo, we just summoned Blue Eyes White Dragon. My monster's stronger than yours. That's game. Spell cards for the weak. Trap cards for the weak. We only played monsters and only the cards that was played in the show. I picked up a rule book. I was like, no. If I'm going to play Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm going to play Yu-Gi-Oh. And I got to say, I was the first person on my block that knew how to play Yu-Gi-Oh actually. So there's that. There's that. I think that that's an accomplishment. Your boy picked up the rule book, and I swear, like, what's crazy is that learning Yu-Gi-Oh back then is still as hard as learning Yu-Gi-Oh now. I got like the biggest migraine, but I got it down, and I'm like, yo, guys, you can't do that. Like, you can't summon a level 5 or higher monster. And they was like,
yes, you can. You do it on the show.
No, guys, you got to do something called a tribute summon, where you have to get rid of your monster first. And they're like,
boy, what you talking about?
I mean, it's coming from the dudes that used to set Trap Master in their Magic and Trap card zone. And then be like,
you activated my trap. Trap Master stops you.
But I finally met an esteemed gentleman, a guy that was into the real rules of Yu-Gi-Oh. This guy's name was Daniel. I hate that fat. I actually did not like this fat. Like, damn, Daniel. At the time, I had to be maybe, oh God, when did Yu-Gi-Oh come out? I was 10. Daniel was 14. He was in middle school. Dude was a teenager. Let's just put it this way. I was like, yo, you play Yu-Gi-Oh? He was like, well, of course he wasn't excited. Yeah, dude. Daniel was actually my next door neighbor. And this guy, he was one of those hardcore Slipknot hearing, System of a Down wearing. He was one of those guys. He was a hardcore punker, okay? And his sister, I ain't gonna lie, chat. For 10-year-old me, his sister was kind of cute. I'm like, yeah, we'll do it. Let's go ahead and do it. I'll take on anybody. Okay, I was already king of the block of my cousins, okay? Anytime I went on my cousin's block, I clapped them up. Not only did I know rules, I played spells and traps, and I enhanced my deck with some of the best cards in the game. My guys, this man summoned Jirai Gumu, and I was like,
bro, that's a trash Yu-Gi-Oh card. Why would you pay half of your life points?
And then I realized that I couldn't get over Jirai Gumu. It was the worst thing ever. I could not get over this Jirai Gumu, dog. It was like, no matter how many times he paid half of his life points or didn't pay half his life points, I couldn't attack over this monster. And I couldn't build up defenses enough to summon my stronger monsters than Jirai Gumu. Bro, he showed me like a whole nother avenue of Yu-Gi-Oh that I never knew existed. And then he had a friend. Now look, if Daniel was a fat, his friend was a fatter. I don't even remember his friend's name, but I'ma name his friend Frank. Frank wasn't smelly, but I swear to God, if I had a bigger nose, Frank would be smelly. Frank was the prototype version of a Yu-Gi-Oh player that doesn't take a bath. And allow me to explain why. You guys are probably like, whoa, why would you do that? Why would you talk about Frank like that? Frank seemed like a good guy. If it's Frank Sinatra, he's a really good guy. Frank introduced me into bending the rules. I was like, all right, I can go toe to toe with Daniel when he doesn't get that Jirai Gumu. I could take on Frank. I feel like I can take on Frank, okay? Frank was a bigger guy, and of course he was a rocker too. Y'all rockers, the big black jeans with the little straps on the back, they look like you got your overalls, but they're not all the way on. You guys know what I'm talking about. Jinko jeans. That's exactly what they were. Frank was wearing them big ass Jinko jeans, and he made them look He made them look like skinny jeans. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. In those jeans, guys. I wanted some of them pants, guys. I ain't gonna lie. I know the pants was kind of hot. He introduced me to changing the rules because I was like, yo, let's do it. Cool, yeah, I'll take you on. 8,000 life points. He was like, and he hit me smooth, guys. He hit me smooth as hell. He was like, 8,000 life points is a little much. Let's do 4,000 life points instead. And I'm like, 4,000 life points? And I'm like, yo, hold on, time out. If this man is playing Jiraiya, then he's gonna have 2,000 life points when he uses Jiraiya. Again, 1,000 life points, and all I have to do is get past the Jiraiya, and I can win. This is, yeah, definitely. Let's do 4,000 life points, you chump. You are gonna lose. My guy, Frank starts off with a giant soldier of stone in defense, right? I'm summoning monsters. I'm like, oh yeah. As soon as I draw this guy, the Fierce Knight, or this dark magician that I got from my cousin, you clapped. I'm getting over this giant soldier of stone, and I'm destroying your monster. So guys, I'm summoning my Celtic Guardian. I'm summoning my Neo the Magic Swordsman. I got my Silver Fang in attack. I got La Jin the Mythical Genie of the Lamp, but I can't beat over this giant soldier of stone. I'm like, all right, soon enough, Frank, you gonna get clapped. The moment I draw one of my power cards, it's over, right? This man activates Tremendous Fire. And for the people that don't know what Tremendous Fire does, is that it inflicts 1,000 damage to you and 1,000 damage to your opponent and 500 damage to you. So when he activates the card, I'm like, all right, I still got 3,000 more, you bum, and you're not doing anything over this. So I finally get my ace monster, the Dark Magician. And I'm like, yeah, this gonna be it. I tribute 2 of my monsters for that Dark Magician, and I use it to Dark Magic attack over his giant soldier of stone. That was his only monster. So I'm scot-free, guys. I'm about to win the game. I'm like, yo. I get my monsters ready. I'm like, yo, Frank, I'm going to attack with my La Jin, and I'm going to attack with everything else, and it's going to be game. Frank kind of does a little chuckle. You know the type of chuckles when your titties shake? Ladies, you know exactly the shuffle I'm talking about. You go, yeah. And Frank flips up a trap card that I don't think I ever paid attention to. This dude flips up Waboku. The original printing of Waboku does not prevent your monsters from being destroyed in battle. You just take no damage. You're going to get destroyed, Frank. You only bought yourself another turn. Frank draws his card. He sets another card face down. He got 2 cards face down. And he's still chuckling. He's still smiling. Him and Daniel giggle in the side. They I'm like, all right, whatever, Frank, you're being weird. He then summons, and I will never forget this card. This man fucking summons Legul. This man summons a Legul. And for people that don't know what Legul does, it allows you to attack your opponent directly. So he didn't care about my Dark Magician or any of my other powerful monsters. He attacks me with the Legul. I'm like, all right, Frank, all right. I don't understand what you're doing here. This is crazy. I'm like at 2,650 life points. Whatever, Frank. You're getting clapped up the next turn. This man, Frank, then activates Swords of Revealing Light. I am here to have my monsters do battle with your monsters. How does Starfire say it?
Frank, here I am with my monsters to do the battle with yours. And you seem to have set up a barrier to protect us from this battle. Why, Frank? Why?
In 3 turns, those swords will fade, and I will destroy you, okay? Frank's all giggling, laughing, whatever. He attacks me with the Legul again. I'm building my army. I set a face down trap hole because I know even if Frank does prepare a counterattack and summon a monster like Jiraiya, a card I was already prepared for, I can use this trap hole to clap it up. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clap up that Legul. I am going to eviscerate the rest of his life points, okay? It's gonna happen, okay? Frank, you're gonna get clapped. Frank attacks me again with another Legul, and I'm just, all right. I'm doing that LeBron face, guys, that, all right. I'm like, all right, Frank, you about to get it, Frank. All right, you got 1 more turn under swords, Frank. That Legul did a total of 1,200 damage on me, guys. And if you got the life point counter, I took 1,000 from a Tremendous Fire. Then I took 1,200. So I am down to 1,800 life points. Frank has one card face down. You didn't bought as much time as you wanted to. My monsters are invincible. They will destroy your monsters, and that Lego won't have anywhere to hide. Dog, I get in my anime form, guys. I go, Dark Magician, it is time to win this game. Attack with Dark Magic Attack. Dog, this bitch ass nigga flip up a fucking Just Desserts. Just Desserts inflicts 500 damage for every monster that I have on the field. I have 5 of them and 1,800 life points left. Why did I play this man with 4,000 life points?